final episode of season 2. Back to the Future. Who is this, Elizabeth? Whoa. There's a helicopter in the back. Interesting that we are starting the episode with her. There it is. What a reveal. Like, just finally. That's the thing that I love about Dark, right? It's how some of these informations are revealed. Like this isn't really a surprise for me anymore because, you know, I've already kind of deduced.
Ist das Ende. Und das Ende ist der Anfang.
Yeah. You want to talk about a paradox.
Wenn du wissen würdest, was ich jetzt weiß, dann würdest du nicht mehr tun, was du tun musst, damit ich zu diesem Augenblick gelange.
Right. Those are the rules.
Wir sind nicht frei in dem, was wir tun.
Always shackled in time.
Du musst jetzt gehen.
Huh. So they're gonna send young Noah into the future. That's what I'm assuming. So that young Noah can be with Elizabeth. I still want to know how those two got involved in Sigmundus. The day of the apocalypse? Yeah. I am dreading for the moment. He's looking at the floor. Oh no. No, he's looking at... Oh, now he's looking at the floor. Yeah.
Mein zukünftiges Ich hat versucht, das Loch zu schließen. Das alles rückgängig zu machen.
What if Adam is the one who...
Dass ich beim nächsten Mal Erfolg haben werde.
Adam could be the one who killed Martha because he knows that is what has to be done. Stranger Jonas is trying to prevent that. That's why he was holding the gun. Probably. That's my assumption right now. Given the very nature that Adam wants to keep things at bay. And also the reason why he was looking at a ghost of Martha in the previous episode.
Wir ändern ein Sandkorn. Und damit die ganze Welt.
Wissen Sie, was das hier ist?
Waller in the back.
Ein Durchsuchungsbefehl für das Kernkraftwerk.
Man, Clausen really is going out for him.
Vielleicht kann ich nicht beweisen, dass Sie meinen Bruder umgebracht haben. Aber ich krieg Sie für das, was hier passiert.
It's getting a lot more personal now for Clausen, but I get it though.
Vielleicht ist es gut, dass jetzt endlich alles rauskommt.
Not today. Great shot. Framing is really good.
Das ist falsch.
It's all wrong.
Tust mir weh.
Ich hab dich einmal sterben sehen. Lass es kein zweites Mal zu.
He saw...
Und ich mach's wieder gut.
So young Jonas was there? When Martha died?
Das ist nicht richtig. So sollte es nicht passieren.
Oh?
Warum hat Noah mir nicht gesagt, was ich damit machen soll?
No. It's all part of the plan. Man, the mirrors are always in the right position though. Like when the actors stop in that exact same position, like the... Man, I love the show.
Woher weißt du das alles?
Die letzten 12 Monate. Du hast mir alles beigebracht.
12 months?
Da draußen gibt es zwei Seiten.
Whoa, wait, whoa, 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 whoa,
Wir wollen
whoa.
eine neue Welt erschaffen. Du und ich, wir wollen diese retten.
So it was a day between Mikhail's death and the previous episode, but it was an entire year for... The clock's ticking. Oh, shit. So young Jonas is effectively a year older. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And that's why, like, you see, like, the sudden change and difference between his, like, personality, his demeanor, right? He's much more calm, collected. He's, like, accepted his role now, whereas before he was still trying to grasp the reality of it all.
Versprich mir, dass du diesen Bunker nicht verlässt. Egal, was passiert.
Well, that's not gonna last. Fuck. I hate it. I hate it here. Like, the inevitability of, like, nothing's gonna change, and you know it's not gonna change, and then you just see these characters just holding on to hope that they can. Interesting. Oh yeah, the passage isn't open yet. That's why there was no gush of wind.
Jonas wusste das.
Du hast Jonas gefunden?
Nein, er ist zurückgereist aus der Zukunft.
Walter's like, what the fuck? I love how nonchalant Charlotte is. Walter's like, what the fuck about... That is unintentionally funny. Walter just accepts it like, okay. Man, how does it feel though, knowing that the end of the world is gonna happen in like a few more hours and there's nothing that you can do about it?
Was ist hinter dieser Tür?
Das Abklingbecken des alten Reaktors.
I'm not sure if Clausen will be the cause of the apocalypse, but it is kind of going in that direction, right? Wow. Would you look at that? Seeing the life of your son that you... Wow. Who this?
Du willst gar nicht, dass er zurückkommt. Weil es dich dann nicht mehr gibt.
Ich wünschte, es wäre so einfach.
Yeah, it's a lot more complicated than that.
Mikkel gehört hierher. Und du nicht. Dich dürfte es gar nicht geben.
He accepts that. He knows.
Aber ich kann nicht sterben, weil meine Zukunft bereits existiert.
Right. The paradoxes. What we don't know is the future after the future, right? Noah?
Ich weiß, dass du mich belogen hast.
Here we go. Here we go.
Du wolltest sie nie retten.
Mhm.
Keinen von ihnen.
Mhm.
Du führst keinen Krieg gegen Gott.
Final pages.
Hier sind deine letzten Seiten. Du hast mich benutzt.
Tell him, Noah. Tell him.
Claudia hatte recht. Du hast immer noch nicht verstanden, wie dieses Spiel gespielt wird.
I'm kind of rooting for Noah here.
Die Zeit spielt ihr grausames Spiel mit uns. Du glaubst, es ist deine Bestimmung, mich zu töten.
Did Adam know about this? I guess I wouldn't be surprised.
Erst, wenn man bereit ist, das zu opfern, was einem das teuerste.
What? You know, given the context of this episode and what it's trying to be, I think this may be my new favorite episode.
warte, warte. Hey, warte, Martha, du kannst doch nicht raus! Martha!
That hard cut from the music.
Ich muss meine Mutter finden. Und Martha.
Right, young Jonas is going to witness Martha's death, which explains Stranger Jonas's sentence about a couple of minutes ago that he saw her die once.
Also dieser Noah sagt, er ist dein Vater und kommt aus der Zukunft. Nein, Vergangenheit. Und er hat gesagt, dass die Apokalypse hier in Winden beginnt. Heute. Und du glaubst, dass das alles etwas mit den Fässern zu tun hat.
It's a lot to take in, Waller. Yeah. Kind of surprised that he was just like, okay, yep, that is what is going on. Yes.
Regina?
This must be terrifying for Regina. Like,
Es tut mir so leid.
phenomenal acting. Jonas? Oh.
Er hat auch gesagt, dass wir Freunde werden. Bevor du mich verrätst.
Oh, Noah is going to be the one who killed Martha.
Was ist das? Lies. Er ist von Martha.
Das ist nicht möglich.
Du musst sie retten. Bartosz, Magnus und Franziska. Und später mich und Agnes.
From Sigmund? Oh.
Der Kreislauf muss geschlossen werden, damit der nächste Zyklus beginnt. So wie es die Prophezeiung will.
Okay.
Nein, das kann nicht sein.
Martha never wrote that letter, and yet it exists. Is that Martha from the universe that does not have Jonas? The other parallel universe that Claudia talked about? A world where Jonas doesn't exist. Okay, maybe Adam will kill Martha. He's suiting up. Everything is moving. Stranger Jonas. Oh! Oh! You know, all of this is happening, and then we have Hannah in the 1920s just chilling. Like, fucking Hannah, man. Away from all of this nonsense. Martha's gonna come in. Where did Stranger Jonas go, though?
Jonas?
Oh, fuck me.
Mercedes, weißt du,
Mhm.
wir passen perfekt zusammen. Bleibt nie etwas anderes.
So schließt sich der Kreis. Ich habe dir gesagt, dass alle Spielsteine auf ihrer Position sind.
Why am I right? Why?
Du wolltest, dass es wieder genauso passiert. Du bist der Auslöser.
Der Auslöser sind wir alle.
Yeah, that's... He's not wrong.
Die schwarze Materie. Sie muss entstehen, damit ich sie in der Zukunft zu ihrer neuen Bestimmung führen kann. Dem Ende dieser Welt.
The end of this world. The birth of another.
Ich bin der Auslöser dafür, dass du zu dem wirst, was ich heute bin.
Fuck.
Manchen Schmerz vergisst man nicht. Bis du endlich bereit bist.
He was the one who...
Du kannst mich aufhalten. Oder versuchen, sie zu retten.
Du bist Jonas. Das ist alles deine Schuld.
Ja, es ist meine Schuld, alles. Aber ich bin hier, um euch zu retten.
Wovor retten?
Vor der Apokalypse.
Was für eine Apokalypse? Was ist mit Martha? Was ist mit Martha?
Technically, that's also the start of Sigmundus, isn't it? Why Magnus and Franziska are with Adam in the end.
My body is a cage.
This is incredible.
I'm living in an age.
Chills. So many chills.
Still the shapes fill my head.
It has stabilized.
Keeps me moving.
What does opening the door at this moment do, though? Well, that's new. And that's the portal opening. Wow. Wow. Oh. Do it.
My body is a cage. Take what we are given. Just because you've forgotten doesn't mean you're forgiven.
Es beginnt.
Uh-huh.
My body is a cage.
Well, well, well. What the? Holy shit, it's the Martha from the different universe!
Ich bin nicht, wer du denkst, wer ich bin.
Huh? Well, that's handy dandy. Very portable.
Aus welcher Zeit bist du?
Die Frage ist nicht, aus welcher Zeit.
Universe, man. Yeah. Oh my god. We're really going there. That was one of the best season finales I've seen in a long time. Hands down. That was amazing. That was hands down again one of the best season finales that I've seen in a fair amount of time. Let's just put it that way. Wow. Is it my favorite episode of Dark? Maybe. I don't know. That's the thing about Dark, right? Is that I can say that this is my favorite episode, but then once I finish the whole story and then I look back into it, I may consider maybe a previous episode to be like, you know, my favorite. Like season 2, episode 6 was a really strong contender. This just has that, you know, that sense of finality, that conclusive feeling, you know, like when you're doing a finale to a show or a season at least, like you gotta go out with a bang, you know, like literally speaking in this case, they literally go out with a bang. Wow. It's I think the best part about this episode in particular, to me at least, it's just seeing how everything comes into play. There has been multiple times throughout this entire show where you get that sense of, okay, this is the beginning of Dark. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is the point where the story truly begins. You know, like every time a narrator says it, whether it is Tannhaus, Adam, Noah, you know, talking stuff about like the beginning and the end are all the same and all that stuff. Every time they say that, usually the corresponding episode will have this sort of trigger event that kind of jumpstart and influence everything else that will happen in the future and the past. And that's why many a times I would go, okay, this is the beginning of Dark. This is the beginning of Dark. You know, like even in season 2, episode 6, like I said before, like that was almost like a definitive beginning of Dark. But that's just the beauty of it. There is no exact point where Dark begins and ends because time is, it's relative, right? Any time can be the beginning of something and the end of that thing as well. Like that's just the very nature and the beauty of this loop. This is the end of our journey, but it's also the beginning of our journey. It's incredible to see this idea executed in such a good fashion in this show. Because this isn't like the first time this sort of thing happened in, you know, in stories, in fiction in general, you know, like if you've seen a lot of stories that revolves around time travel, like you see a lot of this happen, you know, like where you get the episode reveal that, oh, this is where things truly begin and all that stuff. But just to see how it is a sense of admiration and goes to show how incredibly talented the people involved with this show are when they are juggling multiple different narratives, multiple different plot points, a lot of characters. This is a full-on ensemble cast, like one of the biggest ensemble casts that has a story this complex, and yet everything feels like it's all in place. Like everything feels like they all fit. You know what I mean? Like everything is clear, even when they haven't really show you like the answers, right? When you're still questioning things, but you can kind of still get an idea of like the full picture in a sense, you know, like it's kind of like when if you have a puzzle and then you just throw it out on the table and then you just look at the pieces of the puzzle. It's like you see the pieces of the puzzle and yet you can clearly see like the finished product in some way. You still don't know what it will fully look like, but you can have an image of it. You can have a idea of what of how it will look like, and that's how I feel about Dark. It's so good. It is so good. It's kind of unfair. It's kind of unfair because after I finish watching this show, I'm just gonna be judging a lot of shows based on like some of the aspects that Dark does well, especially in its genre, in its, I guess, field of storytelling, I guess. You know, because I don't really like comparing things, even though it's almost inevitable. What I mean is like, you know, like sometimes it's like apples to oranges. Like there are clearly things that you just cannot really compare fairly. But at the same time, you know, stuff like the handling of these complex themes, the handling of these characters, and especially in terms of mystery, this is where Dark fully excels. This is going to be one of those shows where, moving forward, whenever I see another show or a movie that deals with a mystery element and one that tries to be overly complex, it's gonna be hard not to look back at Dark to see how the mysteries in this show has been done, because it has been done beautifully. And we still have another season of that, which on one hand I'm kind of sad that now that I am, I guess, about to enter like the final season of the show, but at the same time it's like I cannot wait to see what they have in store. Now, discussing some of the things that are in the episode itself, I will say this though. I don't think I've ever actually talked about this before, but Dark has a way of revealing things that I really enjoy. In the beginning of this episode, we are finally given the reveal of, yes, Elizabeth and Noah are together, and Elizabeth is Charlotte's mother, right? It's this really, really simple, quick look at Elizabeth just looking at the photo, and then she's just revealing, oh, there she is. And I like that. I like how they, and again, not just for this scene, but for multiple different scenes in this entire show, where a lot of the reveals, the revelations of like, oh, this is this person and that person is involved in this and that, it's done in a way that is not overly dramatic. I say that and then I'm thinking back at like Adam's reveal, but what I mean is like in most other shows or stories, whenever there's a big reveal, right? Because like a lot of the things in Dark are big reveals, right? These are big revelations. No matter how big or small the characters are, it's always going to be a big revelation because it is always in the realm of the impossible, right? How can a mother be the daughter of their own daughter and vice versa and all that stuff, you know, like that is in the realm of like the absurd and the impossible, right? In the realm of full science fiction and something that is meant to be like a shock surprise, like, whoa, you know? And yet, the way Dark handled that is really, really, I always want to say nonchalantly, but I love that. On one hand, it has become more and more apparent of like the identity of Charlotte's mother, right? Kind of already talked about this multiple times already in my discussions, like this wasn't really much of a surprise anymore, but I'm just grateful in how they reveal it, because in most other stories you're gonna have this sort of slow build up reveal and then they're gonna go, your mother was actually Elizabeth, dun dun dun, and then you know, the cliche stuff like that. But you don't really get that too much in this show. Like, again, like the most dramatic moments are probably like, let's say, the reveal of Adam. But even that was like really, really calm, and you know, the build up to it is really well executed. Like, Dark doesn't pride too much in its revelations, if that makes sense. And what I mean is, they treat their revelations as no biggie, like no big deal, like it is what it is, and I love that. I love that. Like there's plenty of dramatic moments in Dark as well, but they're not overly dramatic. It's almost like when you see these things in other stories again, like when you see like like the truth is finally revealed, like the revelation and all that stuff. There is this sense of like the story really wants to, to get this moment out of the way, like, oh, I cannot wait for the audience to know about this. Like we're gonna amp it up. We're gonna make it as, like impactful as possible. And sometimes whenever I see that, how do I put this? It's like suddenly I regain consciousness that this is a fictional story. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but like when you're really into a movie, when you're really into the story, you want to believe that this fictional story is possible in a sense that it is real in a way. So when you got these moments happening, it takes you aback, and then you remember, oh yeah, this is a fictional story that is trying to be, it's trying too hard to make us feel anything. I don't know if that makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. But hopefully some of you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. There are multiple different stories that I have watched where, yeah, it's a pretty cool reveal, but at the same time, it feels like the writers are maybe too afraid that the audience may not fully get it, so they have to make sure that hey, this is going to be a reveal. Like you have all of the cliche, like the music building up, like the monologue from the person who is about to reveal it, and like amping it up, building it up, making the audience know that something is coming. I don't really feel that in Dark, in most cases at least. Again, like there's moments where like the Adam reveal and stuff like that, but with what I'm seeing right here with the reveal that Elizabeth is the mother of Charlotte, it's like, yeah, she's looking at the photo and then that's it. It's like, oh, click, she's the it's really cool. It's really cool. I enjoy this approach. I really do. Now, Clausen, I don't know how to feel about Clausen, if I'm being completely honest. I really like his character. He has this sense of like this outside force that is at the wrong place at the wrong time, and inevitably caused the apocalypse by opening up the barrels. Like, I mean, we don't know what would happen if the barrels stayed in place and was still covered. Like, would it still work? Would the dark matter energy still seep out of the crevices and stuff? Like, we don't know, right? But he is very much responsible for opening up Pandora's box, basically. And I'm still unsure how to feel about him just yet. This is not a point of criticism, it's just I'm not given enough information regarding Clausen, right? Because and again, like I still need to finish the show and see everything, as all of the pieces of the puzzle are all placed, and you can get a clearer idea of like what role each of these characters have with the story, right? Because right now Clausen feels like this character who was sent by an acting god or fate, if you will. Let's just call it fate. Clausen is like this character who was sent by fate to open the boxes, to open Pandora's box, to open the nuclear waste in order for it to leak out and create the portal, and boom, the apocalypse happened, right? Because he appears in season 2, right? He was not a character that was in season 1, at least I don't think he is, unless he's like somebody else that we know that we don't know, but he appears, and his goal or his place in this story is clear. At least for now, it seems. It's clear that he was meant to be an instigator, right? He was meant to be like some sort of key to open this. And this is where some of my, again, I don't want to say problem, I don't want to say gripes either, because again, it's like, it's this feeling of I still don't know how to feel about him, because I haven't seen like the full picture. Because he does feel slightly out of place. Again, like I need to watch more, right? I still need to watch season 3 and see how it all plays out. And maybe my feelings for him will change once I get a better idea and understanding of, again, like each character's position and what it means to the world. But he does feel like Deus Ex Machina. Clausen is a Deus Ex Machina. He is an outside force that suddenly appeared, and if it wasn't for him, Pandora's box would not be open. Right? He appeared because he is searching for his brother, or the cause of his brother's death, which leads him to Alexander, which leads him to a search warrant and an investigation on the power plant, which leads us to this very single episode. He is an outside force that changed the whole story, essentially speaking. Which is why I am curious to see more about his backstory and Alexander's backstory and see how it all ties in with the rest of the main story, right? Because that's just the thing about these two characters, about Alexander and Clausen. I think I talked about this in the previous episode discussion, in that these two characters feel like they don't fully belong with the rest of the cast of Dark, because all of the characters in Dark, like the rest of them, they are all working towards the same thing, right? To figuring out like this time traveling mystery of the show, right? They're searching for their lost daughters, their lost sons, their fathers and stuff. And yet you have Clausen, who's not really all that. I mean, he was here because of the missing people, yes, but at the same time, he's not really interested in the grand scheme of things. He's not really interested in the time traveling stuff because he doesn't really know about it, right? So it kind of feels like this mini side story in the back that is only there because the two characters that are in those side stories are kind of interacting with the main cast of characters, which is, you know, the people that we've been following for a very long time. I don't know, maybe that's just me. And again, this is just my initial thoughts of finishing season 2. We still have another season. We still have, you know, more to cover. I would love to see more backstory and more, I guess, explanation in regards to Alexander and Clausen, because that would be sweet, right? Once I fully learn about like their connection and their place in the story, I think it will all make sense soon. Because right now I'm still in the dark, no pun intended, about these two characters. At least that's how I'm feeling. If you do want to talk more about these two characters without spoiling stuff, you are free to do so in the comment section as usual. Again, like as long as it's not spoilers for like the next season of Dark, go ahead. But yeah, that's just my little tidbit in regards to Clausen and I guess Alexander. Now the scene after that is pretty insane. I really love this scene. And that is the scene where Noah finally flips. I was really rooting for him. I really am. I did talk about like the idea of Noah potentially being a protagonist, or I guess a Deuteronologist, I guess, and that he will eventually flip and turn against Adam, who is being painted as the main villain of the story, right? And that, even though that's the thing about Dark, right? It's like not every character is good or bad. It's like everybody's like morally gray, most of them at least. But man, I was really rooting for Noah here. I really am. And then seeing everybody else joining in, right? You see, excuse me, but you see like Magnus, you see Agnes as well. I start to wonder, like, are they all in on it as well? As in, do they actually resent Adam just as much as Noah, but they just don't really want to turn against Adam because it's just not the time yet? Or if Adam already told them that Noah's going to flip, and they have to follow this, or they have to follow everything in sequential order because that's just the very nature of the show, right? You can't really escape destiny. You're gonna have every action that you do isn't really your conscious, freedom, if you will. So I am curious about that. I am curious, especially Agnes, because we kind of have this talk, right, between Agnes and Claudia, and we kind of have a feeling that Agnes is probably more loyal to Claudia than Adam, but she's definitely trying to get close to Adam in order to do something, but we do not know what it is. And now we have reached this point in the story where Noah is trying to kill Adam, he's trying to get rid of him, and yet he fails, and then Agnes shows up, and then Agnes is gonna go, nope, I'm gonna kill you instead. So now I'm curious. now I am genuinely curious now. Like, what is her end game? What is her goal? I feel like everybody is trying to betray everybody else, but they know that it's not really the time to betray them, right? Everybody's like playing chess and checkers at the same time. Like, nobody knows like which move to move, but they know they're gonna win eventually. Man, it really sucks that Noah dies. Not really, because Noah lives. Oh man, this show is great. One thing that I really do appreciate and I really love about this final episode is that it mimics a lot of the things that happen in the season 1 finale. Especially here during Elizabeth and Charlotte looking at each other through the portal, right? Just as how Jonas and Helge was looking at each other. And they're also and they also did the same thing, right? They also wanted to touch fingers. And that was the thing that I was kind of talking about when I was watching the episode, during the reaction when I said do it. That was what I was referring to. Them actually, touching the fingers and stuff. And they did. And boom, the apocalypse happened. It's a really powerful moment. It also shows, again, the end and the beginning. And you know what? I am kind of curious. It's because the portal is still open during this moment, right? And then, like the dark matter engulfs everything and then it just blows up. I wonder if that also transferred into the future through the portal as well, or not? Like, that's one thing that I'm kind of curious now, because how do portals work? Like, did the portal just shut off when the apocalypse happened, or did Elizabeth in the future also felt like a shockwave, or the explosion happening and whatever? Like, I don't know. I'm genuinely curious. I also want to know what happened to everybody in that plant, because it does feel like one giant portal is engulfing everything and before it exploded. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if they died or if they got transported into someplace else, which can also mean death. I don't know. Many questions. And speaking of other worlds, bro, I like the new. I like the new look. Dark Martha is kind of. Anyways, holy shit. A Martha from a different universe. A universe that I'm going to presume is one where Jonas does not exist. The Martha that I'm also going to assume is the one who wrote the letter that Noah gave Jonas in this episode. That's why the stranger was like shocked about, like, how is this? This is impossible. And then Noah says, this is what you gotta do. You gotta save them, right? So I'm wondering if that's going to be the end goal for Adam as well. It is not to save this world, right? It is not to save this world. It's to save another world. This world is fucked. That world, Martha is still there, so it's not fucked. Even though it's probably fucked as well, right? But I'm still wondering, like, what? Yeah, if this is how it happens, these sequential order of events, which also means that Adam has seen this different version of Martha, and he has traveled to the different world. He sees what it's like there. The question still remains in how all of this came to be. What changed him? And how come Stranger Jonas has not said anything about this? That is the no. This doesn't add up. How does Stranger Jonas not know about the existence of a different Martha? Again, I am assuming that the letter that Noah gave to the stranger is a letter that was written by alternate universe Martha. I'm assuming that. Which is why he had this shock expression on him, this feeling of this disbelief that, what is this? This is impossible. How is this? How? Right? It led me to the conclusion that this is a letter that our Martha has never written before. So if that is the case, and Stranger Jonas has no idea about the existence of this Martha, then how is this possible? How does young Jonas know about this version of Martha? And yet Stranger Jonas does not. The only logical explanation that I can think of is that memory wipe. That is the only thing that I can think of. Is that once once Jonas visits this alternate universe and whatever happened, the shenanigans that will entail, which it's gonna happen in season 3. Like that's the only season left. But that's like the only explanation that I can think of, is that he will lose memories of this encounter. And that's why the stranger doesn't know about this alternate universe that exists. This alternate Martha. And if that's the case, then what is Adam's goal? He wants to destroy the world. Yes, we know that. Does he also know about the existence of this alternate universe? I kind of played around with that idea on my season 2 episode 6 discussion, where I just had a bit of a meltdown discussing about like parallel universes and the concept of infinity and stuff like that. I'm just not gonna question it. At this point, I'm just not gonna question it. I'm just going to let the 3rd season explain it all to me. Because this is fascinating. Because essentially in this season, these 2 seasons, essentially we have reached the end point, right? We have technically looped around. We have reached the ending, which is also the beginning. Where do we go from here? We go to a different universe with a new loop. I am excited. This finale has been incredible. I enjoyed this finale a lot. Season 2 of Dark was all around incredible. A lot of really, really good moments, a lot of really emotional moments as well. Yeah. I am enjoying this a lot. Do I love season 2 of Dark more than season 1? Absolutely. Is this season 2 finale my favorite episode of Dark? Debatable. We still have a lot more to cover, but I can safely say that it is amongst my favorite episodes. The setup is just too good. Like, the setup is too good, the conclusive nature of it is too good. It's great. It's really great. I love this episode a lot. Thank you all so much for watching my reaction and my discussion for the season 2 finale of Dark. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Have a nice day. Peace.